Hey, this is Chris from Dive Bomber's Garage. Thanks for joining us on another episode of our Quick 56 Gasser series. So last week we were working on the radiator mount. Today we are going to be adding a few more things and getting the radiator modified. Also, we're going to be finishing up the power steering and tilt situation we have in the car. So thanks for joining us. Okay, so I'm back on the steering column upper mount. So I made the knee bar and I bent the ends and coped it so that way this is going to fit right about here, and the upper column mount is going to fit on here. However, we're not going to do that. Again, I keep telling you I'm going to work on it and then I don't. So this is where the original Tri-5 Chevy heater controls go, and we're going to get rid of them. So I made this panel that will weld in there and curve it and fill that in. Plus, I have a washer that I made that is, I don't know if you can see that, double D shaped. So we have a certain ignition switch that we like to use. So these, if you know anything about Tri-5 Chevys, they have like this specific bezel that goes with its specific ignition switch. And granted, this was a long time ago, but we went through 3 of them in one car along with headlight switches, and they were all junk. So I'm going to use the ignition switch that I sell that I've never had a problem with, and we're going to fill this in so that way the double D shape of it keeps the ignition switch from rotating, and the ashtray has a couple holes in it, so we just got to fill that in. All this is going to get covered up. They sell a aluminum, I think it's a Bel Air trim, where it's got aluminum with the black Chevrolet emblems on all 3 positions here. And then everything else is just going to be smooth and black. So it's going to look really 50s. And the other thing I want to do is make sure that I test fit this and it doesn't overextend into the knee bar because we don't want to scratch it. So if I have to, I'll put a limiter on there. But I don't want this part race card out. We'll have a separate position to have any switches that we need, like electric fuel pump, shut off, line lock, nitrous, whatever. We'll have that elsewhere. We'll put the gauge. I'll have 3 gauges in here, and we'll build this panel, but it'll still have that chrome bezel. And we'll put the tachometer probably on the roll bar. So I want to modify this stuff before I put this knee bar in my way. And then I will get to the upper column mount, probably. All right, gang, so we are back on the radiator system. So previously we made this mount and we used Sean's radiator as our mock-up. So I had ordered the same exact thing knowing that all my bracketry would fit. Mine finally came in the mail. So this doesn't really have a whole lot of features. There's no drain plug in it. It's just a single pass, so water goes in one side, flows across, and goes out. We're going to modify this a little bit, and we're going to put number one, we're going to put a drain right here on this side, and we're going to have it facing out just because there's really nothing here. On the other side, we have the steering box there, and so if we were to drain the water out of it, I don't know. This isn't really going to like cover everything in antifreeze and water. So we're going to add that, and also I put in my hand. We're going to put a zinc anode in this side. So, and I believe we are supposed to probably have to add a bolt on here, braze a bolt, and then put a ground strap to there. So that keeps the electrolysis down. So the other thing we're going to do, I'm filming it from this side, so it's just easier for me to explain, but the lower outlet is here and the upper outlet is over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a plate right about here, and then we're going to add another plate right there. So what happens is when the water's flowing, it's going to have to go across, up, over, up, and over. And it's going to give it more time to hit more fins to get better cooling, called triple pass. If you had your inlet and outlet on the same side, you could just put one on the opposite side right in the middle and it would double pass. So typically our gassers do not have overheating issues. We have a lot of frontal area that it's pulling air in and hardly anything that's reducing the air to get out of the engine compartment. There's no inner fenders. It just, I don't think I've ever had a heating problem. However, we're just going to do this to add a little bit of extra caution. Plus, if you were to say make these modifications and it was able to cool better and you did put an air conditioning condenser right here, air conditioning condenser gets super hot. So, and you're going to be using the AC in the summer, so everything's just going to be hotter. This would give you an added benefit. So, we made these little divider plates. I made them on the CNC, but you could just zip wheel yourself some flat plates and zip wheel a straight line in here, slide them in there, trim them up if you need them, and then weld it. So pretty easy modification. When you're building, this isn't like a AR-15 where everything snaps together. We're custom building everything on this. So most normal radiators have like a drain plug. It's usually on the inside. Well, because of how this car is laid out, we're just able to put it where we want it and make it a little bit more custom for what we do. And I almost forgot, I made a overflow bottle hanger, which all I did is I took a piece of angle iron and cut out a couple notches here and put some hose clamps on. So on top of our radiator cradle on the strap, there was 2 holes that I cut out with the plasma cutter when I made it. And we put 1/4-20 nutsert in there, so that way I can make this. So we're gonna bolt this on here and just have like a little fan guard. Something that looks cool, makes that not look like doo-doo caca poo-poo. So I filled the ashtray, the 2 holes that were punched in it, and our void for our heater controls. Got that done, put our washer in. So this is our ignition switch that is double D shaped. And that fits nice and snug. So should not rotate. Now I'm gonna get the glove box fitted, and before I can put the knee bar in and work on the steering column, I need to relocate the brake pedal or the brake light switch. So the pedal had to come out and down, so I need to make a bracket to adjust that. Then we'll work on the steering column. All right, so now we're back on the steering column. I tacked in the knee bar to the cage, and now we need to make a bracket to connect the knee bar to the upper sheath, I guess you call it, of the steering column. So I made this bracket right here, and so this will go onto this 2-inch tube, and then this curved part welds to the back side of the knee bar, so that way we can unbolt it and service the thing if we need to. So let's get that tacked in there, and we'll get to the next step. So I got the mounts that go onto the bar done, and I have the first part of the shaft just tacked onto the U-joint, and I have the U-joint where it pivots centered with this. And then I made a couple of these, which is the steering wheel side, I guess, of the tilt. And so these will be able to rotate, but what I need to do now is get a piece of shaft cut down so I can put it in the U-joint, and then it has to go through this sleeve, and this is our quick released hub for the steering wheel. And I need from the face where the steering wheel mounts to the boss of the dash here for the wiper needs to be 10.5 inches. So what I'm going to do, these are all sold 3/4 OD, but nothing fits. So I'm going to take it over to the lathe and lathe it so that way this can slide and this can slide in there. And we're going to get a distance, and then we're going to cut this down and install our bearings in there and see if we can't get this to the proper length. And then we're going to figure out what we want to do to the top. So on the GTO, I think I put a GTO on it or something like that. But we have to make, this is just out of thin steel. After I know that it's all going to work, then I'll go ahead and build this out of thicker metal and put a bow tie emblem on the top part of the tilt. Then we'll be making brackets for this. So it's probably a little hard to see what I'm doing, so I figured I'd pull all the parts out and give it a breakdown real quick. So this part is the Toyota steering box splined end, and then I have just a short piece of 3/4 OD tubing to my U-joint, which I'm still waiting on the U-joint in the mail, so I'm using the splined one. And then the secondary shaft I just made longer and turned this down just so I could get this thing mocked up while I'm waiting for the mail. So anyway, this is the part that would tilt up and down. And then we have a little sleeve with our collared bearing. Got two of those. And then those are our parts for the quick disconnect steering wheel. And then this is the part that goes onto here, the bolt up that'll swivel. So I'm going to assemble them real quick and you can see what it looks like. All right, so now I'm going to get this centered and get these parts tacked onto there after I tighten these nuts up just a little bit, and then we'll make a pattern for the top cover. I got all the parts tacked onto our sleeve here, and everything's assembled, goes up and down nice. So now all we need to do is utilize our CAD system here and make a pattern for the top so we can get this part capped off. We're also going to put a brace in between these two mounts that are on the bar. Then this is a strut for a razor. This is where I got the ideas from, a razor. So we're going to make mounts so it goes onto the bar and then on the bottom of this tube. And so you just pull up on it and you'll be able to release the strut and either move it up or down. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, so we got some brackets made for the steering strut. This will go on the bar, and then this will go on the actual column. So we're going to get it centered up in there right now and get it tacked. So no sooner than got this done, and the mail showed up with the correct U-joint that we need. So I'm going to get this swapped out, and then I think what I'm going to do is take these uprights and the main, or the hoop and the uprights, I'm going to weld solid along with the knee bar. So that way this whole front is all solid and locked in and nothing's going to change and cause this to have issues. So normally when we do a cage, we'll tack it all together, make sure it works, fits, and then we'll cut the tacks and take the pieces down and tape off where we're going to weld and paint all the tubes so that way later when it's in there, it's not so hard to paint. So all we have to do is burn it all in, do some touch up, and it'll just make it a nice, cleaner job. So I'm going to do that, but first we're going to go on a field trip. So we're going to head on over to Harmon Customs where he's working on a 56 Chevy Nomad. So he needs help getting the front wrap off, so we're going to go check that out right now. Here we are, Harmon Customs. Boop. There's Mr. Harmon.
What's up?
YouTubing. You're on YouTube.
Smile.
We're taking the front wrap off of a 56 Nomad.
Yep, all original Nomad. And
we're going to cut it up.
we're going to cut it up. We're getting ready to put a Dive Bomber's Garage gasser front end underneath it. It's getting a Ford 9-inch under the back, big block Chevy, turbo 400, all the good stuff.
Nomads are cool.
Yeah. So it's the season of Tri 5s, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Or 2026 is.
Well, the wiring harness isn't unhooked.
Not even that, dude. It's the safety chain that's over here. Yeah. Don't worry. I've got the perfect tool for that. It's quick and fast.
I'll just wait here.
This is not sponsored by DeWalt by any means, but
yeah, we can probably improve on that a little bit.
I would say we could. Don't let that crush me. Okay, we're free.
What front end clip is this?
But you can see that this has been grafted back in right here. This is not original frame right here. It's pretty solid. It's got all the trim. It's already got the sweet wheels and tires on it. I like the side windows.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna rock a wagon, I would rock a Nomad.
Yeah, if we can afford it.
Huh?
If we can afford it.
Right?
Water.
Oh, it's peeing on the ground already?
It's cool. It's just...
It's been sitting outside.
Yeah. It's cool. It's just the electrical. It's already got killer wheels on it. That's awesome.
I know, right? Al already put some killer wheels on there.
Sweet. Okay, so we have our strut brackets tacked on here. And on this one, I made a little square notch so that way a hose clamp can go through there and that will secure the turn signal switch. Also, I made a top plate with a little bow tie emblem right there and just tacked it on there. That'll triangulate this portion of the tilt and we can go ahead and try it out. So not only does it tilt, but you can also remove the steering wheel. Now that we know that it works, we can go ahead and burn this all in. We're still waiting for our U-joint, but this can all come out. I'm going to use slip collars to hold the bearings in, so it is fairly serviceable. So we're going to get to that and move on to the next project. All right, that's all we have for today. Join us next week when we will be working on the tilt front end for the front wrap. And we've been asked many, many times if we build a kit for it, and we might be just designing that very thing. So stay tuned. And as always, if you're not, please give us a like and subscribe. It all helps.